meeting to order. As acting speaker, there is no chair or co-chair of this committee at this time. We will have our secretary call rolls so that we can acknowledge new members. And before we do the approval of minutes, I will call and ask for a volunteer. I know that I think Buell expressed interest because I just happened to talk to him about it. But we will elect a chair for the day amongst ourselves. I have no preference on, so Madam Secretary, would you call roll and we can acknowledge new members?
Do you want to do invocation first?
Oh yes, we will do invocation. And Councilman Walking Stick, would you be so kind? I should have asked you prior, sorry for the lack of warning.
Bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we just thankful this day, God, and Lord, thank you for bringing this body of Cherokees together, Father, just to make decisions, God, that will bear the lives for our Cherokees, Father. And God, today, Lord, I pray that you just speak to us, Father, and God, just give us a vision, God, that we can just serve you, Father, but more importantly, God, serve the nation. And God, we love you, God, and just be with our decisions and just be with us today. God, we love you and never pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Once again, those that are newly elected or have just gone through re-election, please state not only that you're here, but yes, that you wish to participate or know that you don't in this committee. Buell Anglin?
Here.
Phil John Baker?
Here.
Jack Baker?
Here.
Julia Coates? Jody Fishinghawk? Here. Janelle Fulbright? Don Garvin? Tina Glory Jordan?
Present.
Lee Keener Jr.?
Tommy, yes.
Dick Lay?
Here it is.
Curtis Snell?
Here.
David Thornton? David Walking Stick?
Here, yes.
Kara Cowan Watts?
Honey, yes.
Okay, we do have a
I
quorum.
want to be members of all those other committees too. Yes. Okay. Councilman Baker.
Yes, Madam Chairman. As you pointed out, we don't have a chairman or a co-chairman of this committee. And I'd like to put Tina Glory Jordan's name into nomination.
This would be for the day.
Well, I was actually going to make the motion for the duration until we do all the other committees rather than have this every single week.
So that would be in deference to Madam Speaker's memo before she left, that it would be proper to do it for the day.
It's just temporarily until such time as we do all the committees. It's not, I mean, we don't have a permanent one, and rather than do this every week, that's the motion.
Okay. And that's the motion. Do I hear a second?
Yes, sir.
I think we had a second from Jody Fishinghawk. Sorry, Councilman Snell, you were a little bit slow on that one. Just kidding. Okay. Are all minds clear? Nominations are, I guess, are still open. So is anyone else? Okay. I will call for the question, and then again, the motion is for the interim to have Councilwoman Tina Glory Jordan as the chair for Tribal Services, Community Services. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Very good. Would you like to come on up and free me from this? Thank you.
Thank you all. I appreciate that. Okay, I guess we have the first approval of the minutes will be the first thing.
I make a motion to be approved.
Second.
Okay. Are there any questions or corrections? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes carry. Now we'll hear the reports. The first report is Human Services Department. That'll be Norma Merriman or Jerry.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Norma apologizes she couldn't be here this morning, and she's asked that I fill in for her. My name is Jerry Snell. I'm the director of the Family Assistance Department for the new council members. And just to set the record straight, because he will be telling you something different, Councilman Snell is my grandfather, so don't let him tell you anything. Norma asked that I share some information with you regarding our clothing voucher program. We did close out the clothing voucher program this year, serving 5,969 youth. And that's about 765 over what we served last year. And those voucher payments, as most of you know, were $100 a piece. And looking forward to hopefully having another year like that next year. Our LIHEAP program, I know we've had several questions about our summer cooling program. We did have a summer cooling program this year for the elderly and disabled only, and we were able to serve 1,138 households with summer cooling, and that was with an average payment of $250 a month. No, I'm sorry, $250 per payment, and each one received one payment to help them out this summer with their expense with electric. It's so costly keeping their homes cool during the summer months. We did have a small air conditioner program, and that was a tough program simply because we couldn't purchase air conditioners as summer moved on, and we had so many of those 100+ days air conditioners sold out, and we couldn't get any. We managed to get a few here just a few weeks ago, but so we still have a few just in case we have any emergencies coming up. You do have Norma's report, and I will attempt to answer any questions you might have about it. And if I can't, I'll certainly make sure that you get an answer.
Are there any questions? Yes, Councilman Fisher.
Yeah, I've already started getting calls on stoves for the elderly, one in particular, because they said they'd asked for it for 3 years now. I don't know if it's true or not, that's what they told me. And they're wanting me to jump on it this year. What do I need to tell them? Who do I need to send them to?
Just refer them to us. We do.
Can I give you the name later? Because
yes,
they have been referred to.
Please do that. We do, I believe, have a couple left over from last year.
Stoves.
We have several pellet stoves, but if you all recall, we did the pellet stove demonstration project here a few years ago, and most of our elders decided they didn't want a pellet stove. And but I do think we have a couple wood stoves left, so give me that information and we'll have an advocate to follow up.
Okay, the other thing I was going to ask you about the clothing vouchers. I know you all did about 750 more than you did last year.
Right.
What did we do with the other 750 last year?
What did we do with them?
Yeah, the ones that we didn't do, because I know there was money in the budget to do how many of them?
Now that I can't answer,
Okay.
but I will get you an
Okay,
answer.
thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Councilman Garvin.
Yes, thank you. It's been a long, hot summer, and I kind of hesitate to ask this question, but the LIHEAP blankets, are they going to be ordered again? Can you fill us in on the situation?
We have not ordered blankets for this coming winter months. And the reason for that was we've always paid for those blankets out of some discretionary money that we'd gotten from DHHS. And we're not getting those funds this year. And we have not ordered any blankets for this coming, and we're going to have a lot of disappointed tribal elders, but as of now, we do not have a blanket order in. It takes about 5 or 6 months from the date that you start that process to actually get a delivery. But as of now, we do not have plans to purchase blankets this winter.
Thank you.
Councilman Lane.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Jerry, it's come to my attention that we may have missed some schools up in the northern area on these clothing vouchers. Have you heard that yet? Or?
I have not.
Okay. I've not contacted all of them, but I know we missed some. And I don't know exactly why. Maybe I could get with you and we could kind of go over some of that.
I do know that there was never an intent to go to all the schools, that in each of the area they would select a school that was, like for instance in Delaware County, Jay was chosen as a central location. So all the schools from the surrounding areas had to come into Jay. And
Did you go county like Washington, Nowata, Craig, Mays?
I can't say that they had a setup in each county, especially up in that particular area. But I will find out and get back with you on it.
Yeah, I think some schools weren't even aware of the time period and/or how to go about applying.
Right.
We probably need to
Beef up
try to do
notifications.
a better job with contacting these schools. I can think of two right now that I have been made aware of that missed them. So.
Well, I do know that they send out notifications to all of the schools. Now, how those schools handle those notifications once they get there, I know I'm familiar with Colcord Public Schools, for instance, because my wife happens to be the elementary principal up there. They get a letter that goes to the superintendent, and then it all depends on how that school administrator gets the word out to the parents. And I can't stand here and say that, yes, we sent letters to all the schools, but I want to believe that they did, but...
Well, I can't either, but I'm still chasing that down. But apparently we've had a couple that were missed.
Let me get some, procedures that they use, and that kind of give you an idea of how they go about that process. And we welcome any suggestions or recommendations that you might have.
Thank you.
Okay?
Councilman Walkingstick.
Thank you. What's the process for getting the clothing vouchers?
I'm sorry.
What's the process for getting the clothing vouchers?
The monies that are appropriated for the clothing voucher, and I'm not sure just what the dollar amount is, but as I understand it, and this is an area in another department, but they send out notification at the beginning of the summer letting all the students, or letting administrations of the school systems know that the school clothing voucher program is coming up. And then they set aside a day to go into each one of those school systems to take application. And, again, those families are kind of at the mercy of school administrators and whatever they might read in the local newspaper as far as whether they get the word to come in on that particular day. We, a lot of times, will have, students from Adair County that missed, and they may end up clear over in Mays County making their application, which is perfectly fine.
So you guys are open for suggestions on distribution?
Will be, and fortunately we have a lot of time to do that. They'll start that planning process probably, next April or May.
Okay.
And during that period of time, I'll make sure that we go through whatever process we need to get you involved in it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thank you, Mr. Nevels.
Yes, Councilman Keenan.
Thank you. You said you're open to suggestions, so I would like to be involved with that process too. I did volunteer for that, and so I saw maybe some room for improvement or consideration.
Sure.
I would like to be involved with that as well.
I'll be the first to say that there's always room for improvement. And, you didn't get involved in the application process, did you? Taking applications?
No.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll let you do that.
Well, I'd rather get out the tickets at the door.
Okay.
Yes, Councilman Fisher.
Okay, a couple more questions. Talk to me about the Pay Center, Jerry, would you?
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I don't know much about the Pay Center, and that's a real Norma question. I apologize that.
Okay, the
I'll get-
CDC office in Stillwell, the one we're getting complaints on?
I do know the one that was flooded.
Yeah.
I do know about that, and hopefully the repairs will be made in time for them to get back in session next week. At least that's what Lori Hand is telling us. had a flood. I think a city water main or something broke and flooded our child care center at Stillwell, and they have been temporarily closed. But now Lori assures us that all of those parents that were affected will get vouchers to cover the cost of having to move their kids to another location during this period of time. But I'm told that hopefully that center will be up and operating next week.
Okay, when you talk to Norma, would you tell her to talk, when I want to talk to her, I want to know about the pace and the CDC doing and how it's coming along and
Okay.
how quick it'll be open.
Okay.
The other thing is, you was talking about the light heat blankets, y'all not doing them this year. How much is that budget? I'm curious, since we're going through budget hearings. How much do y'all budget for that?
$35,000, 30 to 35,
How many does it buy?
2,000. Generally, it's in the past, it's purchased 1,800, and the company would give us 200 to use for a fundraiser, and we would sell those blankets for fundraisers, and that money went right back into the same budget to purchase the blankets for the next year.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions of Jerry? Jerry, I do have a question. On the clothing vouchers, I believe we receive a 10% referral from a fee from Stage. We'll get that back this year?
I'll get you an answer to that one too, because
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
Is it budgeted for some other activity?
Oh, I wouldn't imagine,
Okay.
but
So that money would be free to use possibly for the light heat blankets?
now that's, I understand your appropriation, so I would assume that would be a decision that'd have to be made here. I certainly don't have any problem with it. So,
Yeah, you're going to have 2,000 people coming. Yes, Councilman Fisher-Hall.
And just tell you what we usually do with the school clothing vouchers is we go around to housing additions. Like the week before, I usually take 2 or 3 people with me, and we just hit housing additions, handing out flyers, telling them what's coming up. I didn't this year. But it might be a suggestion using maybe some day workers for, because them schools are not good at getting stuff out in the summer.
well, we'll make sure that.
And I didn't even see it in the newspaper. Why wasn't it in the
You
newspaper
didn't
this
see it
year?
in the newspaper? It was my understanding that it was published, but now where it got published and how often it got published, I couldn't tell you that. But I can assure you that next year when we start the planning process for that program, we'll make sure that we get some feedback from you. Okay?
Okay, any other questions? Thank you, Jerry. Now we have a report from Community Services, Charlie Soap, but I believe we have Ms. Canoe. How are you today?
Mr. Soap couldn't be here, but you have our report, and I'll be happy to take any questions you have.
Any questions on Charlie's report? Councilwoman Fisher-Hall.
Talk to me about what we're going to do about the cost. I know of the Fairfield houses. Are they going to be comparable to these $250,000 Redbird homes?
Oh, no, they'll be if the client so choose on the self-help program, they'd be regular self-help homes.
So we're
As long
not
as
going
they
with
select
the
to live
mutual
out
help
there.
ones? Y'all
I'm sorry?
originally planned on? I was told that we're doing the same up there that we was going to do down at Redbird. We was going to do at Fairfield. It's been a while back when y'all first started.
Yeah, that's going to be, like I said, my understanding is if the self-help participants don't have land and they choose to live in on the Fairfield land, that will be an option for them.
When did this change?
I don't know but it has changed. It is kind of the same layout and type of housing, I guess, area.
Could you see when that was changed, please? Because I know it was. Because we attended the meetings at the beginning. Because at one time, this one was going to go before Redbird because y'all actually had people wanting these, whereas y'all didn't have them for Redbird because it was down there fighting.
Okay.
And so I know that for a fact. Also, when will Charlie be here? He's not been here for about 4 months, and we have made numerous requests, and I'm tired of requesting, to be honest.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know. I just got a call this morning asking if I could
I guess
stand
we
in
need to
today.
tell him instead of requesting. Okay?
Okay.
Because I got some questions, and I would prefer to ask him in person, unless he wants me to ask him here. No?
I will let him know, I promise.
Are there other questions on Charlie's report? Thank you, Ms. Canoe.
Thank you.
I got one for you.
Oh.
Did you get the contractual agreement on them homes?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You asked for the contract on them houses last month?
Yeah, Ashley, could you come back up? I did ask for prior month, it's in our minutes, I asked for a contract on, I believe it was the homes there
Yes,
at...
ma'am. I was sure we provided that. Did you not?
I don't think I got it.
Okay,
Did you
I will,
mind
yes,
bouncing it
I'm
over
sure I
to
have a
me?
copy. I will get it to you.
Okay. You might just provide it to all of the council by email if you would.
Yeah, I've got it.
Thank you
I'll get
very
it.
much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next report is roads and transportation. Michael Lynn.
Good morning. I believe you have our report as well, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that you may have about it. I will make mention that we did hold a bid opening yesterday for Barber Road project located in Cherokee County. Bids are still being evaluated, and there's been no official award made yet. So, but I did want to let you know that we did open bids on that.
Councilman Snell.
Who got the contract on that road, Barber Road?
That's the one I'm referring to. There's not been an award made yet.
That hasn't been awarded?
No, sir.
Let's see, Councilwoman Fisher-Hall.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, did you have any other
Yeah.
questions? Okay. Councilwoman Fisher-Hall.
Smith Hollow Road, when is it designed to be kicked off and actually start building?
It's probably about 60% design right now. In fact, we've got a public meeting coming up out there. I will have to I'll email you the date. You should have been notified by email.
Okay, how far is 60% out from actual construction?
You want the time? It's so hard to say until the design is completed and we go through the right-of-way acquisition process. That can take several months. Utility relocation. It's possible by this time next year that it could be under construction.
Possible,
It's possible,
but maybe not.
but maybe not. It depends on if we have to go to eminent domain on acquiring right-of-way. We have to go through the eminent domain process. That can be a lengthy process.
No, I was curious about why we put it out there so soon, because I don't even remember seeing it in the top list on the counties. When y'all send out when we do an IRR projects and different projects, I didn't even see it up towards the top. That's why I was curious about.
Oh, no. I don't know what list you're referring to, but it's
Oh,
definitely.
will you send me that list then?
I don't know what list you're talking about.
Okay.
I mean-
Usually you all send us things that says this road's coming up, this road's coming up, this road. I haven't gotten one of them lately. I haven't received one at all.
Okay.
And I'd like to see it, because I knew this one would have to be a little further down the list on starting actual construction.
I'll have to do some research. I don't know that I've seen any lists over here. If there's lists coming over, but I can put it together a list of what's we've got coming up.
Okay.
I don't see that being a problem at all.
Councilman Walking Stick.
Hey, Mr. Lynn, some of the roads down in Welling are identified wrong. I don't know if that's your department, but it has some, I guess, some emergency concerns for ambulances and so forth. And I can probably get those roads for you if you don't already know of them. Or...
I don't, and that would be something that it would not necessarily be my area that would put road signs out. I would have to work with probably the 911 service and the county as well, but I'd be glad to make some contacts if I knew specifically what road you're talking about.
Okay, I'll get with you.
Very good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Snell.
On the Twin Oaks Bull Hollow Road,
Yes, sir.
where are we at on is it going to be contracted out fairly soon?
Pretty soon. We are finishing up the plans. We are in the process. We had to convert those plans over from 1999 Oklahoma Department of Transportation standards to the 2009 standards, which is what we're converting or using now on projects. That process is nearing completion. In fact, I talked to the gentleman this morning that was working on that and said he's about finished with it, and we should have that out to bid probably in the next 30 to 60 days.
So the utilities are already taken care of?
Yes, utilities are taken care of. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Michael? Michael, I do have one question. How are we coming along on establishing a D-bar list for those vendors that are not either timely completing our projects or there's problems with the project?
I was recently asked to sit on a committee that is involved with comprised, I guess, of the acquisition management or acquisition department, procurement department, Cherokee Nation, Tarot department. I believe there's some C&B staff on there. Not exactly sure who all or what organizations make up that group, but I know that we are reviewing the existing policy that is in place and if necessary, make modifications to that. As far as the debarment policy, existing policy goes, I don't know exactly who all is on there or if there's any contractors on there at this point at all.
I know that I've received complaints from various vendors that we continue to use vendors that we've had trouble with. Either the project wasn't done appropriately or wasn't done timely. And we continue to allow those vendors that we're having problems with to bid. And we've got other vendors that are making complaints because they don't think it's fair. They adhere to our rules and they think everyone ought to adhere to our rules, or it should be much like the state and the federal government, that they should be debarred from further work for some period of time. And I would like for you to move along, if you could, on establishing our debar criteria and reviewing our vendors to see if that is if that's something that we should address.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Okay, and Michael, I see you're on for public comment, road issues. Are there anything we need to worry about today, or that it's on there monthly?
Yes, that is a standing agenda item. I have nothing to report or comment on, but this is a point in the on the agenda where we would accept public comments from any public any person from the public that may be in the audience.
When you choose your successful vendor on the Barber Road, will you provide their line-by-line breakdown on their bid?
Yes, ma'am. That's
I'm very interested in it, and I would think Mr. Baker and Mr. Walking Stick might also be interested, since that's within our area.
Yes, ma'am. You bet. That's standard procedure. We will.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay, our next report will be Housing Services, Mr. Sutherland.
Good morning. Start with a couple of disclosures for you new folks. Each month at this committee meeting, if we have a NAHASDA disclosure policy, if someone is related to someone in a decision-making capacity, the regulations of NAHASDA require that we disclose that. Not only do I disclose it here, but I send it to my offices. They put it on the bulletin board for a period of 10 days, and we also send it to the HUD office in Oklahoma City to satisfy their regulation. First one is under the Home Rehabilitation Program, a gentleman named Samson Shell, who's the sister to Joyce Green, who's one of my employees, has applied for that program. In the rental assistance, Cherokee Thomas, who is related to a Human Services employee, Crystal Thomas. Human Services administers the rental assistance program, so that's the reason for that disclosure. Those are the only two for this month. Just wanted to let you all know the next board meeting is September the 20th over at the Housing Authority building. They always start at noon. I promised the new guys my contact numbers. Got my cards over in the office, but I gave my phone numbers. My cell phone is 453-7668. In office is 453-5248. And email is just David Sutherland, or David-Sutherland at Cherokee.org. And that's SOUTHERLAND. Don't really have anything else to report this month, unless someone has some questions.
Any questions on David's report? Yes, Councilman Snell.
David, you said you checked on those houses at Oaks? Yes, sir. I got a young man that is pulling the info as far as who's the owners of record, just doing a little history on what the status is of them. I've been up there a couple times. There's at least probably half a dozen that appear to me to be abandoned. If we could get pretty cheap, number one, if we got them cheap enough, we at the very least could just tear them down and they wouldn't be an eyesore. But some of those, we got some real interest in possibly renovating them and putting families in them.
There's no way, question, there's no way that we can clean the property up, but I mean.
No, not right now. We just couldn't go in there and clean it up.
Well, you seen how some of the property
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Well, some of them is really a hazard to the neighborhood.
Right. Okay, thank you, David. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Go ahead, you may be getting ready to ask him to speak up.
I do have a question, David. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I recall that our NAHASDA funding in the federal law was contingent, receiving NAHASDA funding was contingent upon the state provision for the tribal court ruling on the Nash case. Am I correct on that?
You are correct. I think Diane Hammonds has been asked to do some looking into it to see the total effect. But yes, it was during the 2008, I believe it was 2008, reauthorization of NAHASDA. There was a little section added pertaining to the freedmen. And as long as those temporary or the injunctions, the temporary injunctions were in place, that we would continue to get money. And with that ruling, they're no longer in place. So there is, like I said, Diane's looking at that. Hopefully we'll have some direction maybe later today.
Will that affect money already drawn down from the government or future monies?
I would say future money, but the way that NAHASDA works is once we get approved for a year's funding, we can pull down about three-fourths of it. So out of 30 million, we can get 22 or 3 million that we pull down. So we've got that 2010 money, and that's what we're spending now. We haven't even been approved for 2011. That was one of the last things a month or two ago you all approved, and it was sent to HUD, and it hasn't been, we haven't heard back from HUD yet. So it would definitely could affect the future funding. About the funding we have on hand now, I'm not sure.
Okay, the 2011 money that we haven't drawn down yet, there is a new rule on it too, on how fast you have to use it. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, so...
Well, actually, there is a new rule. It does away with any time frames. It used to be you needed to have 90% of your funding obligated within 2 years. That's gone away. There's no longer that obligation.
So the $30 million that we will receive for 2011 may not come to us for a while. Well, it may not come to us at all.
That's right.
Because,
like I said, I hate to sit here and say we're not ever going to get it because Diane's looking at the legal side of that to see what can be done, I'm sure.
but that's in the federal law.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes,
We're
Councilwoman
wondering,
Fisher.
does it affect what we haven't drawn down? Can they freeze it for the 2010?
I'm sorry.
Can they freeze the 2010 that we haven't drawn down on?
It's just not that specific in the law. There's no details of
So it's up to them to decide?
yeah.
I would think that HUD would be very conservative, though, in giving us the money if there's some chance that we might not be allowed to continue using the hospital.
I would agree with that. I think they'd be very conservative. Their main concern is going to be the units that we have on the ground now that we're operating to make sure that they continue to operate.
Councilman Walkingstick.
Is there any way around this?
This is federal law. I mean, it was in the...
I mean, is there any way that we could, I mean,
Well, the only, like I said, Diane Hemmings, I really wasn't going to bring this up because I don't have any real questions or no answers to the questions. But I know Melanie has asked Diane to look at the legal aspects of this whole thing and see what can be done.
I don't know. Sometimes I question if the justices are for us or not. I mean, you got the Freeman coming in, and then you got $30 million going out. Like, what's more important, $30 million for housing, or?
Well, you know, that's a bunch of lawyers in the room. At least a couple.
It don't make sense to me, I guess.
Well, I would say this, that the Supreme Court is the highest court of the Cherokee Nation. It is the sole interpreter of our Constitution. There is no appealable order from that. Their order stands, and it is the law of the land of the Cherokee Nation as of 5 p.m. yesterday when it's filed. So that's it is in full force and effect.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Okay.
Thanks, David.
Is that all, David? Okay, Councilman Lay.
Hello, David. How much have we drawn down? Maybe you've already said it, drawn down for the 2010?
I can't give you an exact number, but estimate out of approximately $30 million, we probably have drawn down 22 or 3. That's just an estimate based on. And I just to be honest, Marvin Jones has, took care of this for years, and I just kind of remember from when I was doing some of this. Now he's going to be gone in a few weeks, and I'll probably be doing it again, so I'm going to have to get up to speed on some of it. I think we were drawn down approximately 22 or 3 million. They had to fight us over that.
Are there any other questions? David, I would ask for you to provide us a breakdown of the levy money, where it was supposed to go, and the remaining 10 money that we have not drawn down, where that was supposed to go. If you would provide that by email to this committee as soon as possible, it would be appreciated, because we need to know the areas that possibly could be affected by not having money.
Okay. I'll get you what I can.
Thank you very much. Okay. The next report is the Commerce Housing Report, Anna Knight, and I believe Shay's reporting for it. Where are all these group leaders?
Well, I'm sorry. Anna had a funeral to attend this morning. That's why she's not here.
Okay.
You should have a copy of our report, though, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions of Shay for the Commerce Department? Well, Shay gave her a good report.
Easy enough. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Next item on the agenda is old business, and I see none pending. Second item is new business. I see none pending. Announcements. I do have one thing I would like to bring up. It says our next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, September 13th. I have been asked by Councilman Hoskins if we would consider moving this meeting to Monday at 2 o'clock. If there are no objections, I would like, in deference to him so that he could be a member of this committee, move it to 2 o'clock on Monday, which would be September 12th. It would be the afternoon prior to our regularly scheduled council meetings. Would that be a possibility? Any objections to that?
You're only talking about next month only, right?
Well, I would like to do it during the interim period until we get a permanent chair to see if that would work out. I would certainly like anyone that wants to participate in any of our meetings, I would like to, in deference to them, try to accommodate them if possible. Yes, Curtis.
October, we're going to have our resource meeting
At Bull Hall. So we'll go ahead and want to do that one. So we wouldn't, we would do this in September and November if we don't have a permanent chair yet.
Okay.
Okay? Because we do want to attend the Bull Hollow.
In the past, we have Bull Hollow like at 11, lunch at 12, and we come back here and still have afternoon meetings here. It only affects
Well,
resources.
that would be whoever chairs health
usually
next.
just shift them
To
out.
the meeting, I planned on talking to health about that, maybe moving that up to the morning, so we wouldn't have to be back here until 5 o'clock.
Might be able to talk to the chairperson at the next meeting. It starts in about 10 minutes, because that'll be the health meeting. If nobody has an objection, then we'll move this meeting for September and then November to the 2 o'clock meeting the day of council. And that will allow Mr. Hoskins to be a member. Are there any other announcements? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Councilman Baker, second. Was Councilman Baker also? All in favor? Thank you all.